Happened in the 90s.
Matt was the fat kid, Steve was the black kid. Life wasn't always great, but you know what was? The 90s. Happened in the 90s. Yeah!
You know, Vern, times like these when family and friends get together are so special. Like our relationship with John L. Sullivan. We can count on Sullivan for super discount prices, super selection, and super financing that make these special times so enjoyable. Shall I carve?
What'll it be, Vern? Light or dark?
Tell you something right now about
Tell me something, brother.
It's happened to me, brother. Almost had to Hulk out like Hulkster, Steve. I don't know. Well, first off, everybody, welcome. Episode 136, happened in the 90s. Steve G. Matchy. Sup? Steve, it's been all great. And even last week, I was really positive and really excited about going to see a bunch of movies in the theater. It was $4 movie day at our local theater. And we got to see some fun stuff. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I did have to go see Barbie because that was my wife's choice. And it is what it is. Not a bad
How much did it suck?
It wasn't bad, Steve. It wasn't great. I wouldn't say it blew me away, but what did blow me away is that they took something based off of Barbie and actually made it I thought it was a pretty interesting storyline. And Will Ferrell's hilarious in it, so you get that. But then we see Jurassic Park, and to be honest with you, Steve, that was my movie that I was the most excited to see. It was old, just,
Sure.
nostalgia, just feel what it was like back in the day. Two things happened that pissed me off. One, we get there. Unbeknownst to us, this is the 3D version of this movie. So they're taking it out, they're putting it in 3D. I don't like 3D movies, but to address this particular situation, it wasn't that bad. In fact, as far as 3D movies go, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. It didn't make me sick. They utilized 3D in a way that I thought was pretty creative for a movie that was made in at 93 or whatever. So salute to them for that. But not salute to the fucking two kids next to us that were taking flash selfies in the row during the movie and talking. I try not to be an old fucking curmudgeon, Steve.
You fucking middle-aged man.
I tried. Steve, I'm going to tell this story and then you tell me if I'm wrong. We watched this whole movie. These kids constantly talking. I've been told in the past to not do this. So I'm very cognizant of not making an ass of myself or, doing something that would embarrass somebody. But we're watching the movie. These kids won't shut the fuck up. They're taking photos. I mean, full volume conversation. So, okay, this is a new world, right? I shut up and I go, man, couple of long looks, couple of stares over, but I don't say anything. But a Karen in front of us does twice. So I'm thinking these kids are going to shut up.
When Karen saved the day.
I mean, she looked back twice, full Karen-ness, like, excuse me, can you please shut up? We're trying to watch it. So I'm thinking problem solved. Thank God. I don't have to say anything. But then, I'd say 15 minutes before this movie's over, they're back to the fucking compound. They're running away from the raptors, right? You know what I'm talking about. The little kids eating the little Jello shit. They start doing these crazy selfies to the point where they bump Kendra's drink. She says what the fuck out loud. So this to me says now I can say something. So I go, hey, shut the fuck up. And they do, Steve. So I just have to say though, it felt embarrassing after the fact. We laughed about it. I am an old curmudgeon because I was going to do that a clean hour before that happened. I just didn't have to because of a Karen, but it happened, Steve. They pulled the 40-year-old out of me. So,
well, okay, that context helps, man. So even after the Karen said some shit, they do some more shit and they spill the drink.
They nearly did, but enough that Kendra, who, very accommodating, she's told me in the past, don't overreact to this. These are some
Yeah.
kids. And I realize I was a little
Yeah.
cunt. I used to do that. I used to be loud. And unfortunately, we didn't have cell phones and
Like
flash
that?
photography and shit. Not like that. In
Yeah.
fact, we were talking about it after the movie. I was like, I feel like when I was a kid, I was an asshole until the movie actually started, and
Yeah.
then I shut the fuck up. And if it's like an actual adult was like, "Hey, quiet down," I was like a good boy. So if like an adult told me that, I probably would have shut the fuck up. To be completely honest with you,
Yeah. You would have got in line, man. It takes a village.
but damn it, Steve. But that being said, Jurassic Park, watching it in a theater again, even in a 3D interpretation, I mean, it's so much fun, man. It's crazy how good that movie holds up.
Yeah. I mean, that's why they call them timeless classics.
I mean, it's had so many
Yeah.
sequels. You watch the sequels, they don't hold. I mean, maybe they hold up a little bit. A couple like Lost World and shit, but even the newer ones, they suck.
I,
This one, you
I
go
like
back,
Lost World.
the special effects look great. You know, it's. I mean, man, Spielberg just nailing it in the '90s, dude.
Yeah. Samuel L. Was it
God damn
Wayne
this
Kramer?
hacker crap. I love
Wait,
Samuel L. in
was
that. Samuel L. just salty the whole movie. Just a cigarette nearly to the filter the whole movie. Even I remember those days. I was like, you need to put a new one in, Sam. You're poisoning yourself. I mean, I just wonder, like, how many cigarettes has Samuel L. Jackson smoked in movies? Like, if you had to equate to packs, this dude's just been just wailing butts, Steve.
I don't know where to go with that one.
Hey, man, he's a killer, Steve. I don't know either, but so I guess to put an end to this story, just if you're 40 and you have to, you know, just yell at some fucking kids. It felt good at the end. I smoked a bowl at the end. I was like, man, actually, I feel fucking like I got something out there. So there you go, Steve. I don't know. Weird vibe today.
It's it, it's a new world, but I'm old school. Shit.
I don't even know what that means, but let's just leave it at that, you know?
His spicy crispy sandwich ain't like the rest. Got a natural spicy crispy chicken breast. I got the flavor you're looking for. Spicy and crispy, you know you want some more. Spicy crispy chicken sandwich on a bun. We're all in a jackfruit.
I thought I fired you.
Well, I guess boys and girls, this is Steve G. This is very weird. Like
You took my story weird. I thought it was gonna be a laugh riot, but Steve just like got offended for these fucking brat ass kids. I guess I don't know.
fuck them kids.
Judge.
Like at first, I was like, nah, dude, you just said the taking pictures and taking selfies. Like, oh yeah, that's
In the middle of the movie, though.
in the middle of the movie. I mean, I
You just don't want to sound old, Steve. That's what it is. You're just sitting out here
no,
saying this shit is what it is.
bro, I get it. If you swung on them, I wouldn't be mad at you, bro. They probably needed their ass beat. How old were they?
I mean, they were high school kids, but it was like a dude and a chick
Oh,
and like with like a blanket and shit. So he's probably getting a
oh,
handy in there. But they were just like, I
oh.
mean, if that's happening, fine, be silent but deadly about it. But the full volume, I don't want to go into this. It is what it is. But there might be a guy like me out there that's just waiting to fucking say, "Shut the fuck up, Steve," and I did. So I guess I'm judged, and I won't do it anymore. So I'm sorry. Sorry, bud.
I, I'm not
Sorry.
judging. I'm judging you then, goddammit. Well, hey, boys and girls, this is Steve G and Matt G with What Happened in the 90s, a show where we talk about what happened in the 90s. So get out your Queen Latifah and your Queens of the Stone Age, because it's time to do our thing, time to get it started. You know what to do. I can make it laugh if you want me to. Here comes Jamie Foxx. That's the bastardized version because I really don't know what the brother's saying.
That's so good, Steve. I
Here
like your
comes
version.
Jamie. Here comes on. That's one of like the dopest theme songs in the 90s to me, man. It doesn't get talked about enough.
I mean, I just feel like the amount of work that got put into theme songs in the 90s was just incredible. The quality of some of these things, especially in our time, like the ones that we're talking about. We talking about a lot of great theme songs, and tell me a great theme song now. Nobody gives a shit. There was a song, there was a show
They
called
don't.
Grand Crew that I don't know if anybody even watched that shit, but they had a pretty catchy theme song. I gotta give them credit for.
I thought Workaholics had a dope one, but they ended like probably 6, 7 years ago.
And that was, I
That,
feel like that was an actual real song though, that they just used
oh
as
no
a theme
shit.
song maybe. But I mean, even so, that's probably one of the more
Even
memorable
so.
ones.
Well, hey, boys and girls.
You already did this.
Yeah, that's where I'm at today, Matt.
Damn, we're just off kilter today, Steve. I don't know what happened to us. God damn.
I think it's just too hot outside.
I
My
got to be
mind
honest
is
with you. I'm
melting.
sweating my dick off right now, and I have AC. And I
Dude.
don't know what's going on. I'm getting scared.
Yeah.
It's okay. We're gonna
Let
find it,
us
Steve. We're gonna find it. It's episode. It's 136. We came in cocky, and it's just we gotta even the keel here.
let us make it.
Ah,
Please.
I don't
Chris
know.
Christopherson Jesus. Well, today, my friend, we're talking about all things September 7th in the 90s. Starting off in 1990, Tailspin, OEO, Tailspin, debuts in syndication.
Friends for life, too thick and thin, with another tailspin. Another
Spin it.
fucking banger. Dude, you know who I loved in this? I watched an episode of Tailspin recently, and the Don Cornage character, the villain, like the Foxx dude. I love that guy. He was fucking dope in this.
Was he like a swashbuckler?
Yeah, and he had Don Carnage. He had kind of a high. I can't even do it, but yeah, this was a great cartoon. This, it was always on early, and I feel like this and Chippendale's Rescue Rangers kind of the close like vibe. And this one especially, I just love it. Baloo, the kid fucking flying on whatever he had. He had like a surfboard for the sky. That was pretty sick.
Like this Disney afternoon special deal was kicking in at the beginning of the decade, man. Along with Darkwing Duck, DuckTales, you got like you said, Chippendale, Goof Troop, Bonkers, Aladdin.
Damn. Of those, which one's your favorite, Steve?
Darkwing Duck, man. I feel
Really?
like the character looked dope, and it also had Launchpad. The villains were dope, and I always loved his intros, man, and it would be different every time. And I feel like that's like one of the inspirations for this show, as far as just like having like a different thing. I am the terror that flaps in the night. But something I didn't know about Tailspin, man, the character Rebecca, who was like the manager of the helicopter spot,
Mm-hmm.
it's based off of Rebecca Howe, uh, Kirstie Alley's character from Cheers.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah,
That's cool. But all those shows you mentioned, this was always my favorite. I always liked like the plane action in this. It's a cartoon, but I always thought they just did a really cool job. It was like they were like air pirates basically. I think
yeah.
Baloo was like kind of like a smuggler kind of almost, and he would always get
He was
like
pushing kilos.
I mean, kind of. He had like a his office was, if I'm not mistaken, a tiki bar that he would just pull this airplane up to because it could like launch off water, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and that was kind of based in a Casablanca way. They didn't really have a location name, but like that's the vibe I got, man.
But they
It's
always
funny
had
to
cool
think.
fucking things. They had like air like
Yeah,
blimps. They just like I don't know. Visually, it was different. It wasn't just like a remake of DuckTales. It wasn't, I don't know. It just, and they had Baloo. It had like some of the Jungle Book characters in it and stuff. And like I
yeah.
said, it had just a thumping ass theme song. Maybe that's why I liked it so much.
Lasted for 65 episodes, man. In that following year, September 7th, Cast the Deadly Spell debuts on HBO. A gumshoe is hired to locate a stolen book about black magic that could destroy the world, if it falls into the wrong hands. Directed by Martin Campbell, starring Fred Ward, Julianne Moore, Clancy Brown, David Warner, Charles Hallahan, and Alexander Powers, man. And it's actually not bad. It's still available on Max. And it's the HP Lovecraft, like that, those kinds of characters,
Yeah.
um, fleshed out
Oh,
on
wow.
a film, man. And once again, this was an early HBO original kind of deal. Shout out to Fred Ward, man. And he's no longer with us, but his role in Tremors, like, that's pretty epic.
Definitely. Yeah, he was always sort of like a background character you'd see. He had a cool look. He was a good, like, stern dude if he had, like, in a lot of things. I never heard of this. It sounds like without the creatures in it, um, there was a movie that Johnny Depp was in. I'm like struggling. I think it was called The Ninth Gate or something, where he's like looking for a book that's going to destroy the world, or so like it's like a
Something like
Satanist
that
thing.
sounds
This looks fucking cool. It's got like some makeup effects in it and stuff. Which I mean, it's the '90s. It's gonna look a little crazy, but looks fucking cool. HBO would definitely take some swings back in the day.
Yeah, it's got some spins in the storyline. I don't know how familiar you are with H.P. Lovecraft, man. I really wasn't until they had that series a couple years ago. But there's this butler guy that is he's with the villain side, and it looks like he's made out of granite. It was very interesting.
Hmm.
He's like black, but he's like parts of him were purple, and Fred Ward's character like strikes a match aside like against his face,
Oh
and the
wow,
guy's
that's
just
fucking.
like,
That's cool.
yeah, it's pretty trippy, bro. Like I said, it's on Max, man. You might want to check that out. But also in 1991, Little Shop debuts on Fox Kids, and I'm only saying anything about this because I actually remember this shit, and like I watched it over the week, and the plant is busting rhymes, bro. I shit you not, because
No. I mean, Little Shop
Little
of Horrors, it was giving you like some like cool like he was singing and shit, so musical.
It was it's a musical, so like to make it for kids, and it's 1991, like what they're doing with a lot of children's programming at this point, like, hey, let's add some hip-hop to this, Little Shop, the,
Oh,
the
oh, oh, oh,
yeah,
oh, 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 oh. I'm a plant. I got chlorophyll.
it's fucking the plant is fucking spitting, man. And like his rapping powers, they help like grow the other flowers in the
Hell
fucking
yeah,
in this.
dude. This sounds
Yeah,
kind of good, Steve. I don't know. They were onto something here.
well, you look at the animation style and you be the judge.
I
I
don't
don't know if
remember
that
this anime. I don't remember this. What chant was this on Fox, you said?
this definitely was on Fox.
I don't remember the show. That's crazy. I don't remember this at all. When was it like one of the
Fox.
ones that came on before the main block?
I mean, it debuted on Fox Kids, and I believe this was Saturday morning, man. And
Hmm.
you know, they were taking gambles because Fox Kids, that like I think they're at the beginning stages of like doing this on Saturday morning. Like Fox was fairly new as a network itself. I think started in the '80s, the mid '80s, and ABC, CBS, NBC, those guys were already established. So I want to say Fox didn't really have their Saturday morning like original lineup until around this time, man.
It's
But
crazy they're that new, It's like to think of that there was a TV station like Fox that's been for like around forever now, but like at this time they were around for like single digits years. That's crazy.
yeah, 13 episodes that show lasted.
They gave it a shot, Steve.
Yeah, grand opening, grand closing. That same day, Tasmania debuts, and that lasted for more than 13 episodes. And this was like a resurgence in relevance and popularity of Tasmania. It reintroduced a years old character to our generation, unless you were already watching those Looney Tunes cartoons, man.
And this also begot a great Super Nintendo video game as well, if I'm not mistaken, a
Yeah.
Tasmania video game. But this was dope, and I feel like this. I don't know if it was specifically this, but if you lived back in the 90s, I think you remember Taz was everywhere. The Tasmanian Devil,
Yeah.
they put him on t-shirts. He was like, sort of like this.
Him and Bugs.
Yeah, exactly. He was
Like
almost as big as him. So, yeah, man, Tasmania, shout out. I used to love that shit.
I feel like it was like Taz, Bugs, Daffy, and Marvin. I feel like those are like the Looney Tune like top characters of the 90s, just in my opinion.
I got to agree with that. I'm trying to think of anybody else, but yeah, Daffy for sure, dude. Because everybody was done with Donald. Nobody he was sort of get him out of here, you know?
Oh, I mean
I
Disney,
don't,
man.
I don't like I don't like a Donald Duck, but yeah, those you're right. Marvin the Martian too. He got real fucking big.
Yeah,
Was it Space
just took
Jam,
off.
Steve, or was it this? Was it just like them putting these
Uh,
characters out on Saturday morning?
well, I know Marvin the Martian was a part of that Michael Jordan promotion when he came out with actually these shoes,
Look at you,
like in
Steve.
'93. Yeah,
Damn, those are
but the original ones were purple and turquoise, and like Marvin the Martian, and like his whole color scheme. I always thought that was cool. And that was like one of the Super Bowl commercials, man.
flashy. Look at you, Steve. I wear Target shoes. You're out here just
Yeah,
looking fresh.
dude, these are old, like 6 years, man.
Hell yeah.
But also in '91, Brigham Young University quarterback Ty Detmer passes an NCAA record of 11,606 yards. Damn, son.
Ty, what happened in the pros, man?
He had a somewhat of a eventful career, right?
I think he was like a backup. He probably had an eventful career as that, but I don't think he was like that guy, in the pros.
Of course not.
No.
But hey, man, I'm getting steady checks. 1993, the Chevy Chase Show debuts, and it should not have. Late night talk show, the Chevy Chase Show. Like, who the fuck were the ad wizards who came up with this one?
I love that. Yeah. I mean, that guy's so persona non grata now. It's just is like hard to even talk about it. I'm sure, like, how long did this last?
6 weeks, Matt.
Yeah. I was going to
Six
say,
fucking weeks.
I wonder why.
Dude, I watched this shit, man, and guess who his first guests were?
Dan Aykroyd? I don't know. Somebody from SNL that was like still fucking with him? No?
No, it was two women.
Two women. Okay. Hot? What are we talking about?
Perspective. Goldie Hawn and Whoopi Goldberg, which those aren't bad guests to have, man. People like it was 93. It's Whoopi and Goldie, household names at this point. But he's not a good host, and it made things awkward. At some point, Goldie Hawn sang a song for him. That was pretty cringe. The interview with Whoopi, that was awkward. And the skits that he had, and dude, you're not David Letterman. You're not Conan. Damn.
Did he try to veer off of like the template of a late night talk show, or was it just boilerplate like intro, maybe one thing and then a guest and another guest? Was it just that?
He tried to follow the format like that everyone else pretty much follows, have your monologue, your bit, but like he was so uncomfortable in front of the crowd because he's not good. Like, I don't know what it takes for people to understand that dude is a hack. Oh, what are you doing, Steve? You're just sitting on the screen talking to your friends. Well, shut up, bro. I'm funnier than Chevy Chase. I'll say that. They don't make a movie named Fletch with me in it. I'm not in the fucking like National Lampoon shit. Never did movies with fucking Caddyshack and Rodney Dangerfield. None of that shit. Fuck. I never been on SNL, but fuck it. I'm funnier than this fucker. Yeah. Like, what has he done? What has he fucking done? Fall over shit? Drop over shit? Who the fuck? Fuck Chevy. And he's an asshole. by all accounts.
That's the biggest
Every
thing.
fucking account.
There's a lot of generic, like, shitty comedic actors, but this guy's also just a complete cunt on top of it. So, you know.
Dude, pick a struggle. Be unfunny or be an asshole. Oh, you want to be both? Like, why? How did you get to this point, bro? Did you know that the Aquarius Theater, Fox spent $1 million to renovate it and turn that bitch into the Chevy Chase Theater? That shit was named the Chevy Chase Theater. How
6 weeks
fucking dare
later.
you? Fox. See, like
Shit.
Fox, they take gambles, don't they? Like, you gave us Simpsons.
They had to have a fucking, they wanted to try the late night game like that. So, you know, they just picked the wrong dude. And,
Completely wrong.
they got, at least they pulled the plug only after 6 weeks. They had like the stones just to be like, all right, we fucked this one up. Sorry.
But the casualties that ensued, they took Studs off the air for fucking Chevy Chase show. And me and my grandma used to watch Studs.
Fucking Studs? I don't even know what it was, but
Yeah.
fuck you, Chevy. Taking Studs.
It was a dating show. And I think they like parodied it on Family Matters one time. But like, yeah, man, he had my grandma for weeks, for months, saying like, man, what happened to the Studs? We used to watch that Studs. I don't know what happened to it. Y'all did that to my grandma. Had her concerned. Fuck Chevy Chase, man. My grandma wanted to watch Studs, and I wanted to watch the Studs with my grandma, man. The memories.
I'm sorry you had to deal with that, Steve. And fuck you, Chevy Chase, for having to put somebody through that. You bitch.
You think we're gonna watch some Chevy Chase? I don't know about that. Why, boy? I used to watch that Studs. But in the same day, somebody who also didn't watch this goddamn travesty of a fucking talk show is outfielder of the St. Louis Cardinals, hard hitting Mark Whitten, because he was hitting 4 home runs and 12 RBIs.
Damn. He proved all that in one game. Hard hit Mark Whitten, dude. That guy looked pissed off. He looks pissed off in every photo I've seen.
Pop your shit.
Man.
If you want to be pissed off, you did your thing, bro. If you want to be happy, you did. Like, man, dude.
I wanted to hit 10 home runs this game. Man, damn it.
Punch the catcher when you ran to the base, man. Shit. You hit 4 home runs, 12 RBI.
I mean, that motherfucker he looks locked and loaded. See, that dude is straight. He looks big. Let's put it like that. Mark Whitten looks like he hits the weight room on the reg, and he's hitting dingers on the reg, apparently. 4 in one game?
4 in one game. Against them Cincinnati Reds. 15-2 was the final score.
So wait, you said he had 12 ribbies, right?
12 fucking ribbies.
Did he hit a grand slam, or was it just like 3, 3, and 3?
Fuck, Mary, kill, man. Like,
I'm sorry. I'm just like, if he had, like, think of it, just a grand slam is added into that mix too. That's all just like a perfect storm of baseball, Steve.
Facts, man. But also in 1994, Beverly Hills 90210 is having their season 5 premiere. What I Did on My Summer Vacation and Other Stories. Brandon and Kelly are talking about how no one knows about their relationship, and we get introduced to a new Valerie Malone, and Donna claims that she's over David, but we don't know about that.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in Beverly Hills right now, Steve, and other places too. 5 seasons in, and everyone's now starting to look a little too adult for my taste. Brandon Walshe has got a rapist goatee stash now that I don't like.
I don't know if I like Brandon Malone watching this episode, man. He's very block. He puts a halt on the Steve action. And I'm not big on Steve, but damn, like, you took his old, like, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Get there.
Because right at the beginning, you hear all the drama that's about to unfold, but right at the beginning, Steve, Brandon and Kelly, they're getting close. And they're getting extra close, Steve. Seems like they already getting it on the reg, and their boyfriend and girlfriend, Steve, they're going steady. It looks like Brandon has he's like 5 times divorced at this point, but you know, they just got out of high school.
Yeah, man. You got warrants, Brandon. At this point, like, do they know other people outside of this circle? That's another thing. Do y'all just all like fuck each other? Like,
Oh my God, I can't fucking. I'm not going to fucking Van Nuys. We gotta just stay here. I gotta fuck all these rich people. I don't like this episode, Steve, because even the people losing in Beverly Hills 90210 are living a life that I couldn't even imagine. Because Brandon and Kelly, they're getting it on. They're having some kind of crazy fucking Beverly Hills sex in like a cool apartment. Uh, Brenda, Brandon's sister, Shannon Doherty, we don't even get to see her because she's in England
uh,
on
i.e.,
some.
no one likes her.
Yeah, exactly. In the Walsh family, instead of Brenda, they've invited a new chick in, Valerie, right? That's her name,
Valerie, yeah.
Valerie. And we don't get this. Everyone's like, "Who is that?" Because we don't get to see her right away. We're like, "Who's this chick?" But then we cut to Baja, California, Steve, and this is where we get to see fucking Dylan. And Dylan, he's just brooding on the beach. Um, he's got some like a hobo like sack with him. He's got some beers, some brewskis, and he seems to know like some young
Cervezas.
Mexican kids that are like, "Oh, oh, hermano, Dylan, somebody needs to talk to you." And he's just like, "Tell him I'll be around later." He's like known in this community. I don't know. He's like a shot caller here, but he's sad, Steve. I don't know why. But he's just being sexy on a beach, Steve, feeling the streets, feeling the waves.
Oh man,
Tell,
kind of like a
tell,
James
hey,
Dean.
hey, little amigo, tell Juarez I'll be over when I'll be over. You know what I'm saying? I like
To
how the kid
finish
just
my
like, okay, whatever, you fucking
yeah,
turd.
to finish my cervezas.
Hey, man, give me another one, please. Hey, Julio. Anywho, so we got away from Baja to a hair shop in Beverly Hills, Steve. And Kelly, smelling like sex, sees Don. She's getting her hair done, and she sees Donna at the hair salon. And the tension, Steve, you can cut it with a knife. It's just
That
thick.
bitch. Oh. And we go to a flashback, and I guess they're arguing. And when David breaks up with Donna, I'm guessing Kelly took his side or understood his side, and that's what sparked it all. And they have some hairdressers that like are really like concerned about them getting back together. Like they're trying to patch this, like, oh, you guys are friends. I thought that you we have to. Hey, they need to get back together. After we do those perms, yeah, we're going to make sure they sit in the chairs next to each other. And then they'll force to be talked to talk to each other.
Sister, how are
It's
we gonna get these girls back together? Friendship style work, and they sit her. Oh, here's the solution. Yeah, here's the solution. Sit them next to each other. Wow, you guys, psychological masterminds. But that's all it takes, Steve, because they get down, they sit in those little cool dryer chairs that they have at salons that I always wanted to sit in as a kid,
gave us
and
this stunning image of the queen of modern sitcom television.
and Donna, Tori Spelling looks over at Kelly and is like, can I just say I'm so sorry?" And it's just it's instantaneous, Steve. The sisterhood of the traveling pants in Beverly Hills. It's 100% again, dude.
And Donna swears up and down she's done with David. I went back to Houston, had some dudes run a train, went to the rodeo, had four more guys run a train, and we ate some fried Oreos. It was the best. I can't wait to go back to Texas. Fuck a David. It's like, well, go, girl. Hot girl summer.
I got a cream pie from some guy that said he rode a bull for 10 fucking seconds. So fuck David. Fucking shirt.
He's
Fuck him and his dumbass fucking videos. But
can't sing.
we cut back to the airport where Brandon Walsh and the Walsh parents are waiting for Valerie. Her flight's delayed, Steve. So they gotta hang out. The dad and bro or son are hanging out watching football. They're just ignoring the mom. And Brandon's like, Hey, I gotta go real quick. I think I see my boy Steve over there. Not Steve G. Steve Ian Ziering Steve, a guy who I think is probably just the most undesirable person in Beverly Hills. I hate this character, but for some reason, this Steve is hooked up with an NFL legend, Howie Long. I don't, I'm sitting here thinking, what's going on here? Is he
One
fresh
of the
off of
coldest crew
fucking
cuts.
the set of a movie like Black, whatever that movie was, the movie with John Travolta? I'm spacing. Broken Arrow. There we go.
Broken
Figured it
arrow.
out. But no, Steve. Turns out Steve in this show was in first class with Howie because that's how he lives. Howie and him strike up a conversation, and turns out, I guess Howie had a lot of fantasies about fucking Steve's mom, and I guess he
Like,
just talked his head out about wanting to fucking just drill his mom into the ground back in the day. Because he leaves immediately. He's like, "Hey, don't tell your mom I said that shit."
yeah, I was just playing. Psych.
I didn't want to blow her back out last year, but anywho, go Raiders. And now Brandon and Steve are getting caught up. And Steve seems to, he had a dream vacation. I've never been to Hawaii, but it sounds like a nightmare. What happened, Steve? What happened to Steve?
Well, well, I don't know what happened to Steve in Hawaii, honestly. I just know that like he's back and he's looking for his girl Kelly because he's realized that's the love of his life.
Well, he got broken up with. He had some tenderoni he took to Hawaii, but she broke up. And while he was at a driving range in Hawaii hitting balls. Such a fucking yuppie lifestyle these people lead. Like, yeah, I got broke up with, and the consolation was I was in Hawaii and I was just shirtless hitting balls into the sea, and I realized Kelly's my goal. She's my one. She's my one true love. So
Like,
this guy with the
like
blonde Jerry
shit.
curl thinks he's gonna get that hottie. I don't get that. First off, this guy's delusional.
Man, you against the priest dog, man. Nah, you don't stand a chance, Jerry.
I don't
I'm
know.
sorry.
But he's
She
gonna.
looked, she took.
And Brandon's with Kelly, but he don't tell his boy shit yet. He's like, let me wash my hands first. Let me just make sure you don't find out.
Well, yeah, he can't tell him because Steve enlists him in helping him get Kelly back. He's like, man, I'm gonna need your help.
You're like, okay, first thing I
Oh,
gotta
all
go
right,
talk to
bro.
her privately. Uh, maybe
Before
don't
or
listen.
after I'm done fucking her.
Yeah.
Like,
So that's happening. So possible drama there. Then we cut to a hospital, Steve, and Andrea, or Andrea, however you want to pronounce it. Exactly.
boy, who
So she gives a
cares?
heartfelt thing about how she had a premature baby. She took her forever to get out of the hospital. She finally I was able to get out of the hospital, but right when she got out of the hospital, the baby almost died. And she tells a young mother to trust her gut because she's a mom, and she's boring. Anywho,
Yes, no one cares, and I'm sorry because babies are involved. We care about the kids and all
we
that.
love the
Like,
kids, and
it's
that
just,
in that way,
yeah,
in a paternal way. We love the general like idea of kids being healthy. Of
it's
course,
just Andrea's scenes are the equivalent of hearing the MASH theme song at night as a kid. It's like, oh, Andrew,
yeah. It's like when you're
okay, that's
flipping
over.
like around, you see PGA golf on the TV. You're like, I need to take a nap,
Yeah,
you
or
know.
shit.
So that happened, and God bless Andrea. She has a healthy child. Everything. She's
Thank
finally able to go home, Steve. So God
you.
bless them kids.
I'm glad for it. Thank you, Andrew. Get going away now.
And now we cut to David, Steve, Brian Austin Green, the bag, right?
Rustin Green, yeah.
And he's got that '90s little twisty white people hair that's kind of like grease. It looks like he got wet and like curled his hair, but he's making a video, Steve. And this video, it's like a presentation that's just like it's a video blog before they existed of his whole summer, Steve. We get the whole tale, and it's quite a tale.
Oh man,
Yeah.
emphasis on the tail. Apparently, he got an offer from Babyface to go on tour, and that's big. This
This is
is
for the
Kenneth Edmonds.
chill.
This is for the cool. This is for the chill. Yeah. But he missed that opportunity, I guess. That didn't happen. There was an aerial that was keeping him company throughout the summer. He got an unexpected party favor from Ariel right before they broke up too, and they show the crabs. That I appreciate the yeah the visual narrative.
I mean, he's out there with it. You know, he got some crabs. Shame on Ariel. I like that Ariel, the name of the Little Mermaid, is the girl that gave him crabs. Sort of like a nautical theme to this summer story he has. But then we kind of go. He's on the come up after that. He got rid of the crabs. He got whatever you need to do that. Then he moved into the dorms. Steve he moved into some dorms. Got a new car. Got showed got an A on the presentation he's showing this video, or an A minus in the class, which got him off academic probation, Steve. So David utilizing a video presentation, I love that, instead in lieu of a paper of some kind. And I think this guy's on his way to be a YouTube influencer, Steve. If he can just make it 20 years, they'll be okay.
And just don't start rapping. Whatever you do, do not think you can rap.
Hey,
in
man,
Beverly Hills.
he can, Steve. I can see it. He's got the same, like, he's got the early, I think it was like Justin Timberlake had that haircut, where it's like somebody busted like something about married on his hair, and they just like twisted it into little, like, little locks, little white people locks, Steve. I don't like it. But he's got to get over it. Yeah. Exactly. That guy might have the same fucking haircut at some point. But we pop the David's tape out, go back to California, or to Baja, and Dylan meets with this guy. Exactly.
El Jefe.
Juarez, hey Juarez, I'll get you your money, bro. And Juarez is, I guess he's a thug of some kind, but what he breaks down is this. He's like, Dylan, I've given you everything. I've given you women, drinks, cars, all of it. And now it's time to pay the piper. Because I guess Dylan, somebody died or something, and he has access to some money, but he's pissing it all away, and he owes Juarez, which is a city in Mexico, but this guy's name is Juarez. He owes him a little bit of bread. And he's like, listen, man, I don't got it, okay? I just been fucking chilling in the waves, just chilling with the vibes and shit. So TBD on the payment. And the guy's like, I'm gonna need something, but I'm gonna let you leave. So he's a very forgiving gangster. He allows him to leave, but he takes Dylan's dad's watch. And Dylan just stomps away off this beach to go back to his life, his awful, terrible life in Beverly Hills, where he owns properties, Steve. This is crazy.
Life is hard, man. Down in the 9-0.
Hey, man, does somebody have a comb? Maybe just some conditioner I can put in my hair. It's a little dry here. A couple more cervezas.
Back in Beverly Hills, Steve comes to Kelly's house to give a lay, hoping to get a lay. And Brandon shows up like right on cue, and he says that, hey, I'm taking Kelly to the barbecue. And Steve's just looking like, man, what's going on, man? I told you I was going gun for her. Oh, so y'all doing it to each other? All right, bet.
I knew that smell in the air. Damn it. But Brandon's like, look, dude, consolation prize. I got a girl being delivered to the house as we speak from Buffalo, and I'll let you get first dibs on that little tenderoni if you want that, okay?
Thank me later.
Which, I mean, if I was Steve, we'll get it there, Steve. So then we cut from that to the Walshes. And Valerie's in town now, Steve. And Valerie, familiar face to all of us 90s lovers, Valerie's Kelly Kapowski, but Valerie... she's got some secrets, Steve. Even that sweet exterior. I know that girl, that sweet little girl. You just come from Bayside. She's looking so beautiful. Dude, fucking Tiffany Amber Thiessen she's fully cemented as one of the most beautiful women of the 90s, Steve.
Shit, to ever be put together.
Yeah. Even in the 2000, keep going. Because she was in the movie The Ladies Man with Tim Meadows, looking fully voluptuously like milfy fine at that point. So through the decades,
Jesus.
just let's. So she's here. She's here to meet everybody. She's in town. She's taking Brenda's room. And this girl gets transplanted from Buffalo to just this is the dream, Steve. Buffalo to this, to fucking Beverly Hills, this situation. I mean, goddamn, we could all be so lucky.
You moved up.
Yeah. But as we so she's saying all the right things. She seems very sweet. She's meeting everybody. She's making Steve just feel like a man. She's like, "Oh, I can't. Can you help me with this, Steve?"
Yes.
And he's manning up. And then we sort of hear this side conversation with the Walsh parents where they're like, "Man, I'm just so happy we can help Valerie." And we kind of learn in here that Valerie, I think one of her parents killed themselves, which is
Her
why
father.
her father did, which is why they've agreed to let her come to stay in Beverly Hills and live the dream because she's had this tragedy. So, um, I don't think the kids know that, but the parents know that. And but she seems to be fitting in. She seems pretty well adjusted for a kid that's dealing with the suicide of a parent. And now the kids are like, Valerie, time to go clubbing. So she gets to live the fucking teenage fucking lifestyle, Steve. They're going to Beverly Hills clubs or restaurants. I don't know what it is. But
Some schmaltzy like church club.
yeah,
And Steve, like, he caught on quick with Valerie. He's smitten immediately, as you could imagine, man. Like, how could you not?
we
His
would
tact.
all be. I would be just trying every line possible. And he does. And he's like, let's dance, which I wouldn't do because I know my whiteness, but Steve doesn't. And then him and Valerie proceed to dance in one of the most stiffest, whitest ways I've ever seen, Steve. This is the textbook comic definition of how white people dance.
Das Wonder Kid.
Hey, Beverly Hills is pretty cool, huh?
You come
Yeah,
here often? Oh yeah, you just got
yeah.
here.
Hey, we're 19. We can't drink, but I'm gonna go get you an orange juice. I'll be right back.
Well, Steve's dancing with Val. Brandon's got Kelly, and Donna. She's just off in the cut, and she swears up and down she's done with David. She's over David, but eventually she sees David with another girl, and she quickly gets in her bag of fills.
I like how David comes in like he's like a porn star fresh off a shoot. He just walks in with like, "Yeah, hey, what's up, ladies?" Still has that
I
gross
mean,
puby hair. But I do like that Donna is talking on the phone about this whole situation to Andrea, who is just calling a bar from home to talk to a friend.
that's what boring bitches do. I'm gonna
I
just be
mean,
all the way
god
thousand with you.
damn.
A boring
Go.
ass bitch. Like, I have nothing to do. I got my baby's mouth on my titty. You know what? I'm gonna call the bar. I'm gonna
Yeah,
check to see what
hold
the
on.
game is doing.
Give me the yellow pages.
You a nothing ass bitch. I swear.
But we do find
You
out that
better.
the guy who knocked her up, or maybe it is her husband at this point, I think his name's Jay. He's actually like a bartender at this bar who's also conveniently a law student who's just doing this because well, being a lawyer doesn't pay enough. Being a Beverly Hills bartender pays way more than that, which I love. And he could have fucked Valerie too, because I guess I clocked when he was like, "Oh, hey, nice to meet you." He was trying to get in there. He was trying to get in that
Don't we
Bayside
all?
fucking booty.
You may have seen me on Real World, San Francisco.
So yeah. So Donna leaves. She sees this guy, David, flees the scene. Brendan, I can't fucking these fucking names. Naming your kid Brenda and Brendan. Come on, guys. Seems
Come
like
on,
some
Coach
fucking
K,
like
Dad.
yeah, I hate that shit. So Brendan and Kelly, they're trying to still fuck. Kelly wants she wants this, Steve.
Yeah,
All
Jenny Garth.
I just fucking
All these
hate you're
bitches. Huh?
so. I'm not jealous. I just hate you're so sexy.
Bro,
And Brendan's like, look, I can't stay. I can't fuck you right now because I gotta go home. And not only it's just Valerie's first day in town, which is just we. I feel like that's kind of a like thing to say.
who cares? Hey,
But she's like, I don't care because soon I'm gonna get some more of that dick. So go ahead, go talk to that podunk buffalo bitch and come back to me at some point. So she lets Brendan go, and Brendan just basically like had Steve and Valerie just chilling in the car, I guess, while he was like getting a blowjob. And he comes in just timely enough to just cock block Steve getting some kisses, Steve.
it's like, damn, you took my old gal. Now I'm trying to lay the Mac down on the girl you set me up with, and you pop up again.
Be like, yeah, dude, you said I could have this. Like, leave us in your fucking nice car. I'll bang her in the back seat. It's fine. Like, what the fuck, dude? But no, he had a cock block, and I think I know why, Steve. Because, um, well, we go back. Well, I'll get to it, but we go back from that to the Walshes, and we do see that the parents are still concerned. They're like concerned. Valerie's like she's gone through so much. Like, is she gonna be okay? So they're concerned parents, but we do get back to like finally. I'm getting all fucking turned around here, Steve. Actually, I'm sorry. Then we do see that Donna is talking to Kelly about like this whole situation. Like Brendan's gone. She's talking about David, and like Donna basically fully admits she's like, I'm just not over him. I love him so goddamn much in his videos and his raps. I just love it all.
He was really good. He just needed to focus more. That's what made me so mad about him. Come on, David, take her back. How could you turn that down, man?
If you heard his flows though,
Oh my
it was
God.
so beautiful. It was like white Tupac. I loved it.
Oh boy. He used to play his one song, Hot Money. Oh God. We was just having sex with him.
And we kind of passed over this, but while everybody was in the bar, Dylan finally made it back from Baja to wherever he's living. He's got like 20 messages on the machine. Everybody's trying to find him. Everybody's, worried. His mom leaves the final message that's just like, you're fucking your father's money up, you piece of shit. And he does what Steve does. He just sort of squints and just like feels it. He just, he zens the vibe, Steve, because he's Dylan. Nothing affects him. He's ice cold. And he's back now. And now that we know he's back previous from this, after Brendan leaves Kelly's, we see a very creepy shot of him like peeping Tom Kelly's apartment from the beach from like a lifeguard station, but it's just like
Like,
he's very evil, like Scarface looking. He's just like looking over like, you bitch.
like the Crow or something, like Sting or some shit. Oh my
That's
God.
very exact. Oh my god, yeah, the bat comes down and shit. Yeah. So I like clearly I didn't know. See, that's the thing, Steve. I didn't watch the show, so I forgot like who was
Same.
who and shit. So Dylan's pissed, I guess, that Kelly is with Brendan now, or that's maybe gonna be a thing. Um
That's hard
so
to keep track of. She's getting passed around this Kelly like a hot potato. Like, so she was with Steve. She's with Brandon now. And I guess she used to be with Dylan.
he fucked them all, Steve. Maybe even like David, I don't think. Are they related, maybe? Or I don't know. Maybe they're like maybe she fucked them too. Like this is just like an incestual friend group, which happens.
Very.
It happens.
In Perrysburg, but it's like
Yeah.
shit. There was 12 of us. We had like 25 people in our graduating class. So we're not Beverly Hills. Like there's a shit ton of people in Beverly Hills.
Well,
Just saying.
she just likes to keep it in the mix. She doesn't want to like move to a different friend group, Steve. You got to get used to different locations. Here, it's all after a little bit of weirdness, it's all wrapped up in a bow, and you don't have to change your lifestyle. But TBD on that. Dylan, he's just got a brood right now. He's got to punch a wall. He's got to look cool. He's got to wear a denim jacket and start growing those chops out. Those 90s lamb chop, sideburn.
Those chops.
I like
Yeah.
that. But then we go back to the Walshes, Steve, and Steve's gone. Brendan's in the house, Valerie's in the bathroom, and they got to figure out this space. Because one thing I didn't know until this moment in the show is that this isn't really a familial thing as much as these were like the kids that kissed each other for the first time. They showed each other their little X spots for the first. I'll show you mine. They played that when they were kids. So there's this weird like sexual vibe here that it's not quite to the surface, but I feel like Valerie wants to not only fuck Brendan, but she's there's some freak in that geek, Steve.
It's just a matter of time.
Damn, I didn't know she was doing the click, click, boom. That's a little like she's giving you a little foreshadowing there, Steve. She's a little evil little son of a bitch. But
I
they
like
admit
this
that stuff.
Tiffany Amber.
I do. I mean, this might be my favorite character she's played because there's a sexiness here, Steve. I see it. We see it at the end because they kind of have a sweet thing. They give, they say goodnight. And then Valerie goes to her room. She looks around. I was like, is this bitch about to light a butt up? Like, what's going to go on here? But she calls a friend. I think her name's Ginger, which maybe she sounds like a Buffalo stripper or something. She's like, these fucking people. I'm here in Beverly Hills. We go to a fucking bar. These kids, not a line of Coke in sight, Ginger. Not a line of Beverly Hills.
Hey, everyone ordered Shirley Temples. The fuck?
Yeah, I had a fucking virgin daiquiri. It's like, this shit is crazy. So now we see Valerie. She ain't little Bo Peep here, Steve. Oh, she's out here to do some damage. She's one of these real wild Buffalo chicks. She's here to she's going to belt somebody. She's going to get in a fight and the titties are coming out, One of those bitches.
She's losing her mind already. These people are avocado heads.
But she's also, on top of just being bored and being like a piece of white trash that just wants to party. Yeah. She's like, look, dude, fucking this dude, Steve, this guy's a rube, dumb as rocks, moneyed up. So let me just turn that faucet on. I'll give you TBD on that. Let me get that ATM count going. So
I might slip something in his spaghetti one time.
Fucking dirty bitch. Dumbass. I like this though. I like Kelly Kapowski just acting dirty, Steve.
Yeah. Point back at you. Yeah.
Even knowing this, if I knew this like about her, like this person, and I met her and she was like into me, I would disregard all of it. I would be like, I could put up with it. It's fine. She's got it.
You'd be all apologetic about no, I can change her. It's like the
roles
are
she's
reversed.
Fine. It's fine. She stole my ATM card a couple of times. Whatever, dude. You don't know what she's like when we're just hanging out, okay? You don't know.
Like you don't like the thing that we have, you don't understand. Like she's going to orientation tomorrow. Like she's gonna go. She's gonna go to work, okay? She's gonna do it.
She's fine. She said she's done with all that shit. And plus, I'm titties, man.
Think about those. But in 1996, rapper Tupac Shakur is shot several times in what is apparently a drive-by shooting while he was being driven from the MGM Grand Hotel along Sunset Strip in Las Vegas after seeing the alleged fix Mike Tyson versus Bruce Selton boxing match. He would die 6 days later.
Yeah, man, this was crazy as fuck. That picture is crazy as fuck because you're literally seeing a guy like minutes before he's, I guess, essentially killed. Which I always think shit like that's really creepy to me. When you see this shit or like that picture,
celebrities' last photos.
Yeah, like when it's like minutes before, it's like this guy just doesn't know, He
doesn't know.
But man, crazy to think we could still be around. Tupac could still be around, but just the 90s were fucking too fucking nuts, man. Robbed us of that.
That day, I'll never forget, man. It was all over MTV News and all of that, man. And I was at my cousin's house. My older cousin Toya, she was probably like 4 or 5 years older than us. And I just remember her kept saying, they shot my husband. They shot my husband. Because, all the girls around our age, all the teenagers, like, they loved him. And still do. God.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's like just
my baby. They're like the mom in Don't Be a Menace at the beginning. Oh God, no! I remember a little white chick in our junior, like in fucking Perrysburg, June, whatever we were in, like high school, maybe freshman year, if I'm placing it right. But
We were in
she's
eighth grade.
okay. So right there, I remember some like forgettable white chick being the first person to like at that time, like right after he died, being like, he ain't dead. She threw that out there like she just thought. I was like, did she originate that theory or what the fuck? But I just remember thinking that was crazy. Like even now, I just remember thinking like, what an odd thing, because it was like somebody you wouldn't even think that would say it. Like if you think of all like the chicks in our classes, it's like one of those like nerdy white chicks. She's like, yeah, I don't think Tupac's dead. Like, oh
Yeah,
really? Okay, that's weird. I didn't even know you knew what Tupac was, but crazy.
get the finger on the pulse of the hip hop community, man. Uh, but on that same day, American basketball player Donovan Mitchell is born, and he's currently a Cleveland Cavalier, and he went viral last season for dropping that 70 piece. Actually, yeah, it
Damn,
was 70.
70.
It might have been 72.
What is other than Wilt Chamberlain scoring 100? How close have we gotten in modern basketball to that? I mean, this has got
Kobe.
to Kobe. What did he score?
Yeah, Kobe dropped like 80.
Yeah, I do remember that game too. I mean, that's crazy. But 70 on a Cleveland Cavalier, no less. I know you got to be thrilled with that.
Fuck yeah, dude. He took 71 points. That was his career high. Kobe's is 81.
10 off of the legend, one of the goats. That's fucking got to be that's dope. That's crazy. I haven't really heard like that much about him, especially knowing all these Cavs fans, but maybe I'm not paying attention.
I couldn't believe that shit. I was like, man, is this a typo? And like they're on YouTube, man. Like they have like as you would imagine, man. Like there's a video of him like scoring every bucket.
I mean,
Um,
the motherfucker, did they take him out? Like, did he ever get a break, or was he just like taking the ball and just scoring every time they went down the fucking court? Because you have to be at that point. If you score 70, he didn't sit a lot. That's for goddamn sure.
well, they went into overtime, so that helps.
Still, man, putting up
That's more time.
70, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
And the final score was 145 to 134, man.
I
So
hope they
shout out to
won. You put up
yeah,
70.
they won.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to D Mitchell, man. But 1997, September 7th, Jamie Foxx show is airing season 2 premiere Freezer Burn. The hotel is selected as the site of a televised pool party, but Jamie, Braxton, and Fancy may not live to enjoy it.
So when we open the show, 96 The Bomb has picked the hotel that Jamie works at for their annual summer splash, Steve. And beyond everyone's expectations, Jamie actually hooked this all up. So,
He's got the connections, man, and he got dropped off. But he's not going to say directly, but he alludes to the fact that he was dropped off by Eddie Murphy. They even have him talking back and like, oh, no problem.
yeah, we hear the laugh because he alludes to everything
It's
but the name. So, didn't he almost get hit by him and then he got taken on like a shopping spree or some shit?
yeah, and cue that classic theme song, man. And we come back, and Fancy's friends from the Crenshaw Institute, they're here for the summer splash.
Yeah, Steve. I mean, how much would you pay to be in this lobby? I mean, this lobby is just filled with hotties, and they come in and they're just like, "We're here." Like, hey, they're showing off. I mean, Fancy's got some hot friends too, so she's bringing them all in. And I gotta say, this summer splash thing looks like an amazing time. I want to go. I would be there.
Man, even the
Going like
Baker
this.
Boys are going to be there. There you go. Get it. Get it. Get it.
Eh. Hey guys. Hey.
Just a little bankhead.
Eh.
Party over here. Party over there.
And
But
then the Baca boys come out, Steve, and I didn't know who these
Baca,
guys are, but they're DJs, and they're here to come to the land of milk and honey, Steve, and they've arrived. They've arrived at the right place.
and we're also introduced to Enrique.
He's here to dance, Steve.
One of Jamie's many side characters. I feel like the Martin Show inspired a lot of shit with other like black sitcoms, man. And we're at Summer Splash, and the honeys are out here.
Mm. They're getting everybody. Everybody's just hyped up, Steve. Not only is it just like there's hotties everywhere, Steve. It's not a sausage fest, which you would expect in most of these things. Jamie meets up with the chick that's right behind Steve, who is not fancy, I don't believe. Just some rando at this party, and you get to see what I mean. The selection here is just fantastic. So, Summer Splash, fantastic. The ratio's fantastic, and there's a dance party coming up that the winner could win $500. So you shake that ass right, you can win like half $1,000. Maybe take one of these hotties out for a Beverly Hills dinner, or like where are they at here? I just got my show mixed up.
They're in LA. Take them to the Sizzler.
Yeah, maybe not Beverly Hills. We'll go down to the Valley. We'll go to the Valley someplace, But man, Summer Splash, Steve, this shit is popping. And Jamie's, I mean, he's gonna get in there. At least we think he is.
Yeah, something that's not popping is Uncle Junior with this grill. Like, even though he's an uncle, and I'm sure he's got those clicked eyes that symbolizes, man, I know what I'm doing on the grill. Like, he cannot start the thing. He's throwing gasoline in there. He's throwing handfuls of matches in there. So, yeah, he might have thrown a whole lighter in that motherfucker, but to no avail. And come back to the honeys, because this is for the cool. This is for the chill. And I don't know if you caught the brother in the background. He was aggressively doing the bankhead bounce. Like, I think it's when Enrique is talking to Aunt Helen and he pops in the back, in the bag, you're like.
He wanted to make sure he was on screen, Steve.
Like, it looks so obvious that was his intent. Like, nah, shit, I'm going to get my credit.
Yo, they can't cut me out of this shit.
That is the most aggressive. Man, like, he was like drilling the fucking bankhead bounce. But
maybe he's the originator of it, Steve. He was out there. Like, what is this, 96? I mean, he might
97. Yeah.
But Aunt Helen, Uncle Junior can't get the grill lit. But then Aunt Helen's like, well, we only got no meat. Because finally Uncle Junior, after putting like a jet amount of fuel into this grill, finally actually gets it lit. Almost burns down like at least an acre of land. And then Aunt Helen's like, we can't find the meat. And I think Jamie sends Braxton, the nerdy guy, to get this, like, the meat in the freezer or whatever. And that guy disappears, and Aunt Helen's like, you got to go help this guy out. So Jamie's like, but there's so many titties here, Aunt Helen. The titties, man. Look at these.
Titties. Back to the titties.
Also, just a side note, Fancy's just sunbathing at certain points of this. And, like, every guy that's not attached to a chick is just staring at this chick. And I get it.
And that's... I don't. Not that. Like, they are, like, right there in a group, like, looking at her.
It's like Boogie Nights at the driveway. It's just like that level of, like, impersonality where they're just like, yeah, we're gonna oogle this chick right to her face. It's fine. Fuck it.
Or you can approach her and speak to her, as opposed to just like, well, how many were there? 4, 5, just. And they're right there. I could see maybe from a distance, but you're right there, and it's just her. So yeah, man, that's just very creep energy.
I mean, it's the 90s, Steve. We've seen these documentaries that come out. This is like typical. It's like, oh, a chick, like, just stuck. I mean, that's how hot that chick is, though. They're just literally, they can't speak. Because I mean, if I walked into a pool party and looked over and I'd be like, oh, I'd double take, to be honest with you. I'd probably do more than that, but they're definitely not hiding it. It's not cool. But Jamie goes down to the fridge, freezer thing. Braxton's in there looking for meat. and we get the
Pause.
quintessential. Yeah. Also, they have a giant fucking piece of like meat that they try to get that looks like the Flintstones like brontosaurus rib cage. You
Totally.
know what was that? And like Unc ain't grilling that piece of meat on that little ass grill.
Hell no, dude.
Gotta cut that shit up. But inadvertently, Jamie lets the freezer door close, and they're locked in. So locked in with the nerd Braxton. He talks like this. He's very, very well
Oh,
spoken. Hey, Jamie, don't let that door close. We're locked in, mate. He sounds English almost. He has like that English air to him.
no, he's totally not.
He's not.
They end up breaking the handle off the door, and then Fancy comes in. She lets the door shut. Now she's locked in. And Junior, this is the play oblivious and naive thing where he comes down there. They're pounding and knocking on the door, trying to like get his attention. There's a see-through window, and he just doesn't even look in that direction.
Also, he gets meat, and I thought the meat was where they were at, not where he's at. So what the fuck are they doing in there fucking around when he can just be like, oh well, fuck it, bye. I think he did it
Well,
on
when
purpose, Steve. He's like, I just fuck these people. I don't want them. They can just die.
never liked that kid anyway. He's not my real nephew.
Oh,
Braxton, eventually Braxton, he climbs through the vent only to end up on the other side of the freezer. So they're still stuck down there. And I think Braxton at some point he's like, if we die, you guys can eat me. Like,
like alive. It's like if we get into a situation, you guys can eat me. And he goes, and while Braxton's in the vent, Jamie's like, look, let's talk about us. Because I think they like at some point they talked about going out or something. But he tries to get in them jeans again, Steve, while his dick is like growing icicles on it. Because we get to that, it's like there's no sense of urgency here. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd be freaked out. But he's trying to get some pussy, and that's Jamie, I guess. He's just all about it. He's centered. He's zeroed in.
probably not the best moment to do that, but
Um, as this is going on, we go back to the party because that's still happening. Jamie wanted to win this dance party, but it seems like Enrique, Lord of the Merengue, he might win this shit because he's popping, Steve. The pecs are popping, the booty's popping, and he's got this party popping because he's the party starter, Steve.
he could even get on Helen on the flow. Oh, Helen, come on. Yeah. And he spins her into the pool. And it's like, damn, that's too much sauce.
She just had to get in that pool and cool off a little bit. Um, so then we cut after it. We're at the hotel lobby. The party's kind of ending. Uncle Junior's window shopping all these hotties that are leaving. He's like, "Hey, I think you won. You won that dance party, girl." He's saying that to
Yeah.
everybody,
You
and I
won
like
too.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
you won too, girl. I won. But Aunt Helen then talks about Enrique, and she's like, "Oh my God, did you see him?" She's clearly, she's feeling it. He is the Lord of the Merengue, Steve.
All right, on Helen. Chill out.
Dance. Fucking.
And the hottie that Jamie's talking to or was talking to, he got pulled by Thurgood. Or she got pulled by Thurgood. Like, and is that the same dude that was on the Steve Harvey show? He played the principal's dad.
He might have, I don't know, but this guy has the best line in this whole thing because Uncle Junior's like, yo, man, how in the fuck did you get that shit?
Yeah, how'd you?
He's like, man, she lost her contact and she thinks I'm Jamie. So, so salute to that guy. Thurgood's getting it. And, but then the uncle and aunt figure out where is everybody? Where's Braxton, Jamie, and Fancy at? I haven't seen them. So they go down to we go cut down to the freezer, and they look like Jack Nicholson in the end of The Shining. They got like literal icicles coming off of their face and shit. So we're getting close, Steve. It's close to the end.
And they have a come to Jesus moment, but like Jamie, unbeknownst to any of the other two, he had a cell phone on him that whole time. He
I
basically
love
just
that.
calls up on Helen. It's like, hey, yeah, we're in the freezer. Want to come down and
Well,
get us?
because this is like 5D chess because he gets fancy to be like, okay, look, I do like you, and maybe if you cleaned up your act a little bit, this could be a thing. And he's like, so you're saying there's a chance we could do this if we get out of here? And she's like, well, I guess, yeah. And he's like, oh, okay, well that's crazy. I actually have a cell phone, so he's been waiting for like to me he planned this whole thing because he's just been sitting here with a cell phone. Um, and they don't appreciate that he had this the whole time. But he's a master, Steve. Jamie, he's gonna get there. Him and Fancy they're gonna smash. I can feel it.
I mean, the seeds are already planting. She told him straight up, I think you are attractive. And when you sing, it makes me melt. It's like, oh, word? Oh, okay. That's what's up.
Damn, dude. Jamie and Fan. That's it, Steve. This is all. They get out of the freezer. They don't freeze to death. Jamie didn't win that 500, but he won Fancy's heart, Steve. And that's all.
Dot, dot, dot. Your princess is found in this other castle with Bowser. But this is our first time covering this show, man. We just never had the opportunity, and probably get some more, man. It's a lot of good shows, a lot of good episodes in the first couple of seasons, man. I think there was one where Dub C and I like the whole West Side Connection were in there.
Hell yeah. I mean, I
Yeah,
remember this, and I always have liked Jamie Foxx. Like I said, the shows, his stand up. He had that one special. I think it was called "I Might Need Security," one where he had like the club punch
yeah.
joke and shit. He's always been so fucking funny, and this show is great too because as somebody who loves Martin, you're right. There's a lot of parallels. We get cutaways where he's playing like some wacky Enrique, the Lord of Merengue character and stuff too. So, I definitely hope we get to cover it again. And yeah, dude, Jamie Foxx killing it in the '90s. Still,
And still, man, I mean, he's just evolved into like
I
a
mean,
mega star now.
yeah, he's like at the upper echelon for everything. And what I love about Jamie Foxx too is like you said, dude is so talented, stand-up comedian, actor, comedy actor, R&B singer, piano player, like, that whole thing too. So, and from what I hear, throws a hell of a party, and we get to see him do that in this show as well. So, dude is winning, Steve. Did you watch this
And
show
we
like a lot when it was out?
not as much as I did in syndication. I would because I believe this was it UPN or W? It was one of the two. I
I
can't
think it was
remember, man,
UPN
but
still, if I'm not
UPN.
mistaken.
Um, but like we got to see that from the beginning of the decade, man. Like his between like 1990, 90, actually 91 when he joined In Living Color till 99, and he has his own sitcom. Like we got to see the birth of his career, like and see all of that evolve, man, from In Living Color, going into stand up, Booty Call, and then doing this show. And he hosted SNL around this time.
Also, then veering into dramatic, crazy dramatic, like really well done acting roles and stuff, where he's like not only like even portraying like historical characters and like potentially winning Oscars and stuff like that. It's like he's really sort of, as far as the entertainers go, he's kind of like I mean, it sounds cheesy as fuck, but he is kind of like a modern day like Renaissance man if you think about it,
Totally,
you know?
totally, man. Um, Also in 1997, In Your House 17 airs on pay-per-view. In Your House Ground Zero, brought to you by Stridex. And this is the first time HBK and Undertaker have a match against each other, um, like ever, which I found interesting. And now obviously they're beefing because Shawn Michaels cost Taker the belt after he hit him upside the head. So they start beefing. And this is also around the time when Austin is out. He has to sit out because he got his neck broken at SummerSlam. And so he has a gripe with the commissioner, Commissioner Slaughter. And he's got a gripe with the whole WWF because he's also the tag team champ with Dude Love around this time. And Dude Love is out there to do damage control. Stone Cold does not give a fuck. He stunners Jim Ross because he doesn't give a damn. I need to be reinstated, and that's my belt, and that's the bottom line. And Dude Love, he's just trying to calm him down. And that was really the highlight for me because I eventually fell asleep. I wasn't trying to watch the Patriot versus Bret Hart in the WWF Championship match. I got to see the stunner.
I don't give a damn about your hippie bullshit, Dude Love. Fucking JR with your fucking crazy fucking hat and shit.
Slaughter with your big ass chin.
Stop drooling in my goddamn face, you fucking old piece of shit.
But that following year, 1998, the Pokemon anime debuts in first-run syndication with the episode Battle Aboard the Saint Anne, which aired as a sneak peek. The series would make its official debut the next day.
I didn't like the cartoon. I didn't like it. I got into the video game when it was like the first one, the red and blue one. I had the blue one. I bought a Game Boy when I was a kid, and I did play it. But as far as these cartoons go, I just like, you know.
I could have kept that one to myself. Sorry. But any callbacks, honorable mentions, or takeaways?
Just a call back to those kids at the theater. I'm coming. Okay.
You know what grinds my gears?
Shut the fuck up. Yeah, but I'm 40, Steve, and I'm living a 40-year-old man's life. So I'm sorry I had to derail the show at the beginning, but you know, I'm just letting you know, you got to tell a kid off in the theater, just go for it, you know. You've earned that. You're 40. You're almost 40, right? You're not 40 yet. Not yet.
Yeah, I'm 40.
You look beautiful though, Steve. Beautiful. How about you? Any callbacks?
I'm gonna give a shout out to Fancy's nipples in that episode of Jamie Foxx show. Yeah, I saw them peeking out, and I want to call attention to a post. It's another one of these, man. I made a post of the Patrick Swayze movie Fatherhood, and we add little fun facts with the post. And with this movie Fatherhood, it was Patrick Swayze was at the peak of his alcoholism. He at times passed out while shooting, and it's kind of like the Scott Weiland thing all over again. I posted it, and it's like I didn't think about, like, man, me and you, we are fans of Patrick Swayze. With that being said, why would other Patrick Swayze fans want to be reminded of a low point in the man's life? And Bad Steve, it didn't register. I just thought it was a interesting fact because we're fans. But in fairness to me, because I'm not gonna just like no, fuck your bad dude, Steve. I think it's interesting because if you're a fan, you want to know how these people are relatable to you. You never know what like other people
It's a human being. You know,
They're
it's part
human
of the
beings, like,
story.
man.
You don't erase history, you know, like it's unfortunate. But also in terms of a respect, you know, I don't clock Fatherhood. I don't remember the quality of the movie. But even if it's not great, he did all this like with this incredible handicap that he's dealing with, this disease, and he's of alcoholism, and he still made a good movie. So the guy was that talented that he could like push through all that. So, you know, it is what it is, Steve. It's not your fault. It's just like it's a fun fact in the same way I found it interesting when you told me that that thing about British Bulldog for that the match he had with Bret Hart for that SummerSlam '92. It's just like something that's that good where it's like, man, he was dealing with that too. That's fucking crazy. It's almost like paying respect. I mean, it sucks, but what are you gonna do, man? The guy was a fucking human being. He had some problems.
He was a human being, man, and like just like we all do at some point in our life, man. And the Karens were just coming out of the woodwork. They, you know,
I mean, that's the internet, dude. You put something out, somebody's gonna complain about it no matter what. So, you know, don't even worry about those Karens, Steve. I'm feeling frisky. You want me to go at that? Shut up.
You're right.
You better shut the fuck up, Karens.
Fuck them.
Exactly.
Thank you. We love you, Patrick Swayze.
Dude, Swayze, dude, he's one of my favorites. Roadhouse, fucking Point Break, fucking Tu Wong Fu. I could keep going.
Ghost.
Shit. Black Dog later on. Believe that was a semi-truck thriller related movie. But anywho, there will never be any shade thrown on Patrick Swayze. Rest in peace to a
Never.
legend. And the man, no matter what his downfalls were or his foibles, he's a legend that no one will ever forget, and we love him and respect him. So Karens, back the fuck off, okay? Stay away from my boy Steve. He doesn't deserve it. He's a good man. He's a good man.
Damn right. Tell them motherfuckers, fuck y'all, Karens. But please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Please tell your sister that Matt is going to step on her kids' feet.
Yeah. You better
fuck
watch
up
your
his-
mouths, young whippersnappers.
Fucking up his matinee entertainment.
Shit. It might only cost $4, but my time's worth way more than that, Steve, so they better watch out. Shh.
Check out Crushgasm. Check out Food Show Fanatics. Councilman Clark. Don't Worry, Be Movie with Amanda Way. This is Steve G and Mad G with Happened in the 90s.
Word, little shot.